The Galactic Concorde's spires glittered like diamonds against the void, a monument to millennia of peace and power. Inside the Grand Council chamber, delegates from hundreds of advanced civilizations gathered beneath a dome that refracted the stars themselves. The air thrummed with whispers, the scent of alien perfumes, and the cold hum of ancient technology. At the center of this vast assembly stood Earth's delegation, a small cluster of humans clad in practical suits, their expressions a mix of defiance and exhaustion. Leading them was Ambassador Elena Rourke, her jaw set with the quiet determination of someone who had survived every kind of dismissal. Today, she was here to argue for Earth's inclusion in the Grand Science Accord, a prestigious coalition of species who shaped the future of the galaxy. But the mood was hostile from the start. A towering Vrelli noble stepped forward. The Vrelli were known for their razor intellects and unyielding pride, their slender, scaled forms glistening under the chamber's light. Their eyes, sharp and cold, fixed on Elena with open contempt. Earth, the Vrelli hissed in flawless. Galactic Common, your species still clings to outdated technology. You launch clunky ships that choke on your own atmosphere, barely capable of leaving your solar system. And now you seek a place among those who comprehend dimensions beyond the third. Laughable. A ripple of laughter cascaded through the chamber, low, mocking, like waves crashing against fragile glass. Elena's heart pounded. She had heard this before. The stories Earth sent to the Concorde were dismissed as primitive. The discoveries humanity made were labeled coincidences or flukes. They were little more than space monkeys to these ancient stars. But Elena held her ground. "We have advanced far beyond your assumptions," she said steadily. "Our technology is different, yes, but our understanding grows every day. We have theorized the existence of dimensions beyond the 6 your scientists claim are possible." The Vrelli delegate's eyes narrowed. "The 7th dimension," he sneered. "Do you even understand what that means? You mock yourselves. No species has penetrated such a realm without annihilating their minds and ships." A murmur of agreement echoed. The elder races had legends of explorers lost in the dimensional folds, their ships twisted into impossible shapes, their crews erased from time. Elena's voice sharpened. "Perhaps it is you who fear what you do not understand." The chamber fell silent, the tension thickening like a physical force. Suddenly, the holographic ceiling flickered. A ripple passed through the gathered delegates, and the enormous projection of the Milky Way shifted subtly. No one noticed that beneath the grand displays, deep in Earth's hidden labs, something stirred that thousands of miles away, far beneath the Atacama Desert, in a bunker shielded from prying eyes. A group of scientists watched live feed from orbital sensors. Dr. Malik Okoye adjusted the controls on the console in front of him, his dark eyes reflecting streams of multidimensional data. "Halcyon is ready," he said quietly. The words carried weight, the culmination of decades of secret research, millions of dollars siphoned into black projects, and countless nights spent chasing equations others deemed impossible. "Final systems check complete," replied Laya. Chen, the project's lead engineer, her fingers flying over a holographic interface. "The 7th dimensional drive is stable for the first time. We're on the edge." Okoye smiled grimly. "The galaxy thinks we crawl in the mud. But tonight, we rise." Back in the Concorde chamber, Elena finished her appeal. "We seek entry not to boast, but to contribute. Humanity is no longer a species to be ignored." The Vrelli delegate sneered one last time. Return when your kind understands the seventh dimension, and even then you will be beneath notice. Alina swallowed the sting, but nodded. We will. As the summit moved to the next agenda, Elena's eyes flicked toward the stars visible through the chamber's transparent walls. Somewhere out there, humanity's secret waited a ship like no other, ready to slip unseen through the fabric of reality. The galaxy mocked Earth, but they did not yet see what was coming. Beneath the calm, a storm was brewing. Humanity's unseen weapon would rise from the seventh dimension. Far below the barren surface of the Atacama Desert, where the world's driest sands whispered secrets of forgotten millennia, the bunker hummed with controlled chaos. Hundreds of meters underground, walls of reinforced alloys and quantum shielding, cocooned a lab that the galaxy did not know existed. Inside, Dr. Malakakoy stood in the command room, eyes locked on the shimmering holographic projection hovering before him. It displayed the sleek, silver silhouette of Halcyon, humanity's greatest hope, a ship engineered not to conquer space, but to slip beyond it. Around him the team worked like a well-oiled machine. Leah Chen, the project's lead engineer, monitored the dimensional drive's readouts with intense focus, fingers dancing over translucent controls that rippled like liquid glass. Scientists and ex-military technicians exchanged terse updates, their voices low but urgent. Dimensional stability is holding at 78%. Leah reported, her voice steady despite the tension. Power surges are within predicted parameters. Malik nodded, his mind racing. Years ago, this had been just a theory, an equation scribbled on a napkin during a late-night brainstorming session. Now it was a reality. Humanity was about to breach the seventh dimension, a realm whispered about in myths and forbidden by every major galactic power. Halcyon's crew ready for manned launch in 48 hours. Malik said, "This isn't just a test. It's the beginning of a new era." The lab's air seemed to thicken as the weight of their mission pressed down on them. No one outside their circle believed the seventh dimension existed, and fewer still believed humanity could survive it. Suddenly, the lab's main screen flickered, then stabilized, but an unexpected intrusion sent a wave of alerts rippling through the network. "Security breach detected," Leah announced, her brows knitting. "External signals encrypted. Someone's watching us." Malik's gaze sharpened. "Run a trace. Lock down all outgoing transmissions." A tense silence filled the room. In the depths of space, millions of kilometers away, satellites that should have been blind to Halcyon's operations registered a faint, inexplicable signal, something flickering at the edge of detection, oscillating between dimensions. "They're trying to peek into the seventh," Leah said grimly. "If they know what we're doing, we're not just violating galactic norms, we're painting a target on ourselves." Malik rubbed his chin. The Varelli, it had to be. Their arrogance was legendary, but so was their fear of the unknown. They had mocked humanity in the Concorde, but now they were watching, waiting for a mistake. "We move forward," Malik decided. "No hesitation. If we falter, we lose everything." The next day, the final preparations began. In a nearby cavern, Halcyon gleamed under powerful floodlights. Unlike typical starships, Halcyon's hull was smooth, almost organic, shifting its reflective surfaces in response to dimensional energies. It was less a machine and more a living conduit, a bridge between realities. The crew was small but elite. Malik himself, Leah Chen, pilot captain Sarah Voss, and quantum physicist Dr. Navin Rowe, each had sacrificed everything for this moment. Families left behind, reputations risked. Captain Voss ran through final checklists, her steely blue eyes betraying no fear. This ship is our ticket to survival, and maybe to proving that humanity's reach is far beyond what they think. Malik gave a curt nod. The seventh dimension isn't just space. It's a place where the rules change, where time folds and reality itself warps. Naveen's voice was a whisper. If we slip into it cleanly, we might see the universe as no one else can. But if we falter, ... He didn't finish. Everyone knew what that meant. To become lost in the folds of the seventh dimension was to vanish, utterly erased from the memory of time itself. In the control room, Malik watched as Halcyon's engines hummed to life, the ship slowly rising on an unseen field of energy. The dimensional drive ignited, a swirl of impossible colors flickering in and out of perception. The countdown began. Double quotes, 10, ... 9, ... 8, ... The bunker trembled faintly as Halcyon slipped beyond the confines of normal space. Double quotes, 7, ... 6, ... A ripple passed through the air. The room's lights warped, shadows stretching unnaturally. 5, ... On the monitors, Halcyon's signal twisted, bending, folding, then vanishing altogether. 3, ... 2, ... 1. Silence. The crew aboard Halcyon found themselves enveloped in a shifting kaleidoscope of geometry and sound. The ship moved through a dimension where time looped in spirals and space folded like sheets of paper. Stars appeared as pulsing orbs of impossible color, while distant shapes drifted in the distance, ancient, forgotten vessels, relics of species that had dared the same path. Captain Voss gripped the console. Are we alive? Face was pale but awestruck. We're not just alive. We're somewhere no one else has been. Suddenly, a burst of alien signals flashed across the ship's sensors, a warning. A ghostly echo from those long-lost turn back. The message repeated in fractured languages. Malik stared at the screens. This dimension isn't just a corridor, it's a graveyard. But we're not here to die. Back in the bunker, Leah's hands trembled as she keyed in commands to keep the link open as long as possible. We're in, Malik whispered. Humanity has crossed the threshold. Now we survive. Outside, the night sky over the Atacama remained undisturbed, silent, still unaware that a new chapter had begun. The galaxy might mock humanity's primitiveness, but beneath the sands, a ship had risen, unseen and unstoppable. Inside Halcyon, the crew floated in weightlessness, their bodies suspended in a surreal haze of shifting colors and shapes. The very fabric of reality bent and folded around them as the ship slipped deeper into the seventh dimension, a realm no human had ever witnessed before. Captain Sarah Voss gripped the control panel, eyes wide but focused. Report, she commanded, voice steady but edged with awe. Dr. Navin Rowe swiped through the multidimensional sensor readouts, his fingers trembling. Slightly, the environment here is ... incomprehensible. Time flows sideways. Distances contract and expand unpredictably. We're seeing star systems not on any known maps, or maybe they don't even exist in our space. Malik Okoye stood near the observation window, a transparent pane that seemed to pulse with energy. Beyond it, glowing shapes drifted like ancient ghosts. There Navin pointed. Those ships. They were unlike anything in any human archive. Massive, warped vessels, their hulls twisted in ways that defied Euclidean geometry. Ships from civilizations long extinct. Trapped in the folds of this higher dimension, The so-called Ghost Fleet, Alina Rourke's earlier words, echoed in Malik's mind. The Varelli feared this place because it revealed their own failure. Now, here it was, proof. Suddenly, the ship's alarms blinked red. Incoming vessel, Lia Chen's voice crackled over comms. No visual signal is ... unstable. Voss's jaw tightened. Could be a Varelli hunter. Malik's heart pounded. The Varelli had mocked humanity's ignorance of the seventh dimension, but they'd clearly tried to master it themselves, and failed. The strange vessel edged closer, flickering like a mirage. Halcyon sensors barely locked onto its shape. But it was clear, it was ancient, hostile, and utterly alien. Prepare for evasive maneuvers, Voss ordered. We don't know its intent, but it's hunting us. The ship twisted through impossible folds of space, the crew gripping every handle as Halcyon darted sideways, folding itself like a living origami bird. The hunter followed, relentless and silent. Naveen's voice was tight. Their technology is advanced, but it's failing. Like they're caught in a time loop, deteriorating. Ghosts, Malik muttered. Lost ships, doomed to haunt this dimension forever. Captain Voss maneuvered. Halcyon toward a flickering rift, a shimmering doorway in the dimension's fabric. If we can slip through that, maybe we can lose them, she said. The ship surged forward, passing through the rift, and for a moment the chaotic colors coalesced into strange clarity. A vast expanse stretched out, glittering with stars unseen from Earth, and swirling nebulae that pulsed with raw energy. We're deeper than any probe has gone, Navin said, breaking through his fear. But the hunter was not far behind. Suddenly, the ship shook violently. Energy fields flickered. Warning lights flashed, shields at 50%. Lia shouted, "They're using dimensional weapons." Malik's mind raced. They couldn't fight in this realm with normal weapons. Their only hope was speed and stealth. Engage the phase shift. Drive, he ordered. The crew scrambled to activate a secondary system, a last-ditch experimental tech designed to slip Halcyon invisibly into an even higher sublayer of the seventh dimension. Lights dimmed. Systems hummed with strain, and the ship blurred, becoming intangible. The hunter vanished from their sensors. For a tense moment, silence ruled the cabin. We lost them, Voss whispered. But Malik knew better. They're still out there, he said, waiting. As the crew caught their breath, Naveen studied the signals they'd intercepted from the Ghost Fleet. These ships weren't destroyed, he said slowly. They were trapped imprisoned in this dimension, their crews, their echoes, looping through fragments of time. Alina Rourke's earlier defiance returned to Malik's thoughts. The Varelli's fear wasn't arrogance, it was terror of being found out. Humanity has done what others only dreamed of. Malik said quietly, "We've touched a dimension no one else dared enter, and now we've become part of its story." Captain Voss looked out the observation window once more. The swirling, impossible landscape stretched beyond comprehension, a place where ships drifted like dead leaves and time, twisted like a river caught in whirlpools. "Whatever lies ahead," she said, "we face it together." Back on Earth, in the underground bunker, Lia Chen monitored the link with Halcyon, her fingers tight around the console. The data was overwhelming, streams of impossible numbers and shifting geometries. Suddenly, a garbled transmission cut through. Statican, ancient voice, fragmented but urgent. "Turn back, turn back. The dimension consumes all who trespass. ... Lia's breath caught. The warning was real. The price of this journey could be extinction, but she steeled herself. Not this time. Moloch's words came through the comms, firm and resolute. We are not afraid of the unknown. We will rise, unseen and unstoppable. Outside, the stars above the Atacama shone with indifferent coldness. The galaxy mocked humanity for its smallness, its perceived primitiveness. But deep in the seventh dimension, the Halcyon crew had already begun rewriting the rules of existence. Humanity was no longer crawling, it was burrowing into the very skin of the universe. The echoes of the ancient warning still reverberated through the hull of Halcyon, as the ship drifted cautiously through the swirling chaos of the seventh dimension. The crew had glimpsed the forgotten ghosts of civilizations lost to time, and now a new spectre loomed on the horizon, one far more immediate and dangerous. In the dim glow of the control room, Malika stared intently at the dimensional scanners. Among the shifting patterns, a distinct anomaly emerged, a warship unlike any other, its hull folded in impossible angles and shimmering with a sickly, dark iridescence. The signature was unmistakable. The ship bore the mark of the Vreli there. Here, Malik said quietly, voice tight with tension. Captain Sarah Voss clenched her fists. Why would they risk chasing us this far? They mocked humanity for ignorance of this dimension, but now they hunt us. Dr. Navin roused eyes darted over the sensor readouts. The logs we retrieved from the ghost ships tell a story. The Vreli tried to conquer the seventh dimension centuries ago. Their arrogance blinded them. Their fleet was shattered and trapped here forever, caught in an endless loop of time and space. Liachin's voice trembled as she added, The Vreli have been hiding this failure for generations, masking it with their superiority and mockery. They're terrified of anyone else discovering the truth. Halcyon's artificial gravity shifted slightly as the ship maneuvered into a defensive posture. The Vreli warship drifted closer, its strange hull phasing in and out of reality, like a shadow flickering at the edge of vision. Captain Voss issued orders with calm authority. Prepare to evade. Keep the dimensional drive stable. We can't afford to be caught. The Vreli ship unleashed a pulse of energy-dimensional weaponry that rippled through the fabric of spacetime. Halcyon shields flared, absorbing the blow but draining precious power. Shields holding at 60%, Lyra reported. We can't sustain this. Malik's mind raced. Conventional weapons meant nothing here. The seventh dimension bent the rules of physics. It was a realm where time twisted and space folded. Survival meant outthinking the enemy, not outgunning them. Deploy phase shift decoys, Malik ordered. Confuse their sensors. The control room flickered as holographic copies of Halcyon projected around the ship, shimmering and twisting like mirages. The Vreli vessel hesitated, confused by the sudden multiplication. We've bought some time, Captain Voss said. Now we need to find a way out of this. Suddenly, the ship's multidimensional scanners picked up a faint signal emanating from a nearby rift, a swirling vortex of energy promising escape or deeper peril. Look at this, Naveen whispered, tracing the signal. It's an ancient dimensional gate, possibly a relic from the species that built the Ghost Fleet. Malik's eyes lit up with cautious hope. If we can reach that gate, we might slip beyond the Vreli's reach. The crew braced as Halcyon surged toward the rift, the ship's engines humming with a chorus of alien frequencies. The seventh dimension folded around them in impossible patterns, colors bleeding into sound, time stretching and snapping like elastic dot. But the Vreli warship was relentless. They fired another volley of dimensional pulses, tearing through the decoys and striking Halcyon shields again. Warning lights blared. Shields at 30%. Lyra shouted, "We can't take much more." "Prepare for emergency phase shift," Malik commanded. "If we don't make it, we'll send the data home. Humanity's secret can't die." Here, Captain Voss locked eyes with Malik. "We don't give up. Not now." With a surge of power, Halcyon plunged into the rift. The ship was swallowed by a torrent of raw energy, tumbling through a kaleidoscope of time and space. Moments stretched into eternities. The crew felt their minds twist and stretch, memories overlapping with glimpses of futures yet to come. Then, abruptly, the chaos calmed. Halcyon emerged in a hidden pocket of the seventh dimension, an ancient graveyard of colossal ships and drifting ruins. Preserved like a cosmic museum, the Varelli warship lurked at the edge, damaged but persistent. Its crew, or whatever had become of them, stared through time with empty, haunting eyes. Malik gazed out the observation window. "We've entered their tomb. Looks like we're not the first to face them," Naveen said. "But we're the first to fight back." The Vreli ship suddenly emitted a shriek of distortion that vibrated through Halcyon's hull. The crew braced for another attack. Then, inexplicably, the enemy ship powered down, folding in on itself like a dying star. Lyra let out a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. "It's retreating." Captain Voss allowed herself a small smile, for now. As the tension eased, Malik turned to the crew. "This fight is far from over. The Vreli's shadow will follow us through every dimension. But now," he said, voice fierce, "we know their weakness. They fear the truth of their failure. We have the power to rewrite the story." Alina Rourke's words echoed once more in Malik's mind. "We are not the scared species anymore. We are the wild card." The Halcyon crew prepared to push further, into the seventh dimension's uncharted depths unseen, unheard, and ready to change the fate of the galaxy. The silence inside Halcyon was heavy but charged down electric calm after the storm of Vreli attacks. The ship floated in the eerie stillness of the seventh dimension's ancient graveyard, surrounded by colossal husks of forgotten vessels, relics of civilizations long erased by time and space. Captain Sarah Voss paced the command room, eyes scanning the shifting readouts. The battle with the Vreli warship had left its scar shields weakened. Systems strained, but the crew had survived, and more importantly, they had learned. "We're not just trespassers here," Voss said, voice firm. "We're the wild card, the unpredictable element the galaxy's been waiting for." Dr. Maliko Koi leaned against the console, his gaze distant. The Vreli believed they were gods in this realm. Their arrogance cost them everything. "We have something they never did: resilience, adaptability." Leah Chen nodded, fingers flying across the control panel. "Our dimensional drive is holding steady. We can push deeper, explore the pathways no one else dared." Navinro tapped his tablet, eyes bright with excitement. "And the data we're collecting. It's rewriting physics. The seventh dimension isn't just a place, it's a living puzzle. Every shift reveals new laws, new possibilities." Sarah smiled, the first real smile since their descent. "Then let's solve it." Halcyon slipped through the graveyard, weaving between titanic shipwrecks frozen in time. Each vessel told a story, battle scars etched across hulls, faded insignias of empires lost, echoes of crews trapped in eternal limbo. Malik studied the spectral echoes emanating from the largest wrecker gargantuan ship marked with the insignia of the ancient Arcanist civilization. said to have vanished from history centuries ago. This ship might hold answers, Malik mused. If they ventured here before, maybe they left behind technology or knowledge we can use. Sarah's voice was steady but urgent. We'll send a team to board it. The boarding party, Malik Naveen, and two security officers, prepared in the airlock. The corridor leading to the Arconis ship was a tunnel of shimmering energy, a threshold between realities. Stepping aboard, they found the ship eerily preserved, the interior bathed in an otherworldly glow. The walls pulsed with strange bioluminescent veins, alive with the faint heartbeat of forgotten technology. Naveen's voice echoed softly through the comms. This place is unlike anything I've seen. The Arcanis weren't just trapped, they adapted. Deeper inside, the team discovered a chamber filled with crystalline data, nodes, repositories of knowledge encoded in light and sound. Malik carefully interfaced with the nodes, his fingers brushing patterns across the crystalline surface. Suddenly, a holographic figure materialized, a tall, regal Arcanus elder, translucent and flickering like a candle flame. To those who follow, the figure intoned, voice ancient and reverberating, the seventh dimension is not a prison, but a crucible. Here, reality tests the worthy and consumes the unprepared. We failed, but you, humanity, may succeed where others faltered. The message faded, leaving the team breathless. Malik whispered, "We're not alone in this struggle." Back aboard, Halcyon, the discovery ignited a new fire. "We have to adapt," Sarah declared. "Use what we've learned. The seventh dimension is dangerous, but it's also the key to survival." Leah activated the newly downloaded data, integrating Arcanus technology with Halcyon systems. The ship shimmered with renewed energy, its dimensional drive stabilizing to levels never before achieved. Suddenly, an alert blared. "Incoming transmission," Leah said, puzzled. "It's in an ancient dialect, but it's a challenge." Sarah frowned. "From who?" The transmission played a chilling message from the Vreli. "Humans, you meddle with forces beyond your comprehension. You dishonor the legacy of the stars. Surrender or be erased." Malik's jaw tightened. "They're afraid." Sarah's eyes blazed. "Good fear means they see us as a threat. We're not just surviving, we're changing the game." Days passed as Halcyon pushed deeper, the crew learning to navigate the seventh dimension's shifting maze. The ship's new systems pulsed in harmony with the dimension's strange rhythms, allowing it to slip through folds of space and time with increasing finesse. But the deeper they went, the more the dimension fought back. Temporal storms surged. Around them waves of distorted time that threatened to unravel their memories and sanity. One evening, as the ship drifted near a fractal nebula swirling with colors unseen by human eyes, Malik gathered the crew. "We're explorers on the frontier of reality," he said. "The galaxy mocked us once, but now they will see we are the wild card they never counted on." Sarah raised a glass in a quiet toast. "To humanity, to the unseen, to the rise of the impossible." The crew smiled, united by a purpose far greater than survival. Far away, in the grand halls of the Galactic Concord, whispers began. "The humans, they are no longer the primitive species we mocked. They are becoming something else, a force that could reshape the balance of power." The Vreli delegate's expression darkened as he stared at a holomap flickering with unconfirmed reports. "Prepare the fleet," he growled. "The wild card must be crushed before it changes everything." Above the Atacama Desert, the night sky remained indifferent, but deep within the seventh dimension, humanity's unseen ship carved a path through the impossible. The galaxy had mocked them. Now, the wild card had risen. Halcyon glided silently through the fractured currents of the seventh dimension, its hull shimmering as waves of temporal distortion rippled through space. The ship's interior, once calm, now hummed with unease. Time here was a living thing, snapping and folding back on itself like a shattered mirror. Captain Sarah Voss stood at the observation window, watching swirling clouds of impossible color and shape. She felt it in her bones. The dimension was changing them, reshaping not only their surroundings, but their very minds. "Report," she said sharply. Leah Chen's fingers moved swiftly across the console, her eyes wide with concern. "The temporal flux is increasing. We're seeing multiple timelines, overlapping events, repeating, skipping, or happening out of sequence." Dr. Navin Rowe adjusted his glasses, staring intently at the data streams. The seventh dimension is not just spatial, it's a nexus of time itself. We're caught in a web of realities. If we're not careful, we could lose ourselves. Malik Okoy's expression hardened. "We knew the risks, but the more we learn, the clearer it becomes. The dimension tests our very existence." Suddenly, the ship jolted violently. Warning sirens blared, temporal shockwave detected. Leah shouted, "Systems are glitching." The crew struggled to maintain control as reality around them flickered like a broken hologram. Images from different timelines flashed through the walls, brief glimpses of moments that had not yet happened. Or that might never happen at all. Captain Voss gritted her teeth. Brace for impact. The ship trembled, then steadied, but the aftershocks lingered. Crew members staggered, disoriented. Malik helped Navin steady himself. "We have to anchor ourselves to something real." Navin nodded, breathing deeply. "If we can synchronize with a fixed point as stable event, we might stabilize the ship's temporal field." Lia's hands flew over the controls. "I'm scanning for anchors." Minutes stretched like hours as Halcyon drifted through layers of fractured reality. Finally, Leah found a beacon, a distant star system locked in a fixed temporal loop. Its signal steady amid the chaos. Locking onto the anchor, Leah confirmed. The ship shuddered, then a wave of calm spread through the vessel. The flickering slowed, the overlapping timelines began to separate. Sarah exhaled deeply. "Good, we hold ... for now." Malik approached the captain. "This place is more than a battlefield. It's a crucible. It will test our minds, our memories, even our identity." Sarah's gaze was fierce. "Then we'll adapt. We don't have a choice." As Halcyon stabilized, strange phenomena began to manifest among the crew. Memories blurred. Familiar faces from past timelines flickered in and out of existence. Dr. Navin Rowe experienced visions, brief flashes of his life before the mission, and lives he might have lived if he had made different choices. Leah Chen found herself haunted by whispers in unknown languages, the voices echoing through the ship's systems like ghosts. Sarah kept her composure, but privately wrestled with the sense that reality was slipping through her fingers. Malik observed them all, feeling the weight of responsibility. "We must remember who we are. Humanity's strength isn't just technology, it's our will to survive and our capacity to hope." Amid this growing psychological strain, a new challenge arose. Sensors detected a massive energy signature approaching a rogue dimensional storm, a living tempest of warped time and space. "Storm is unstable," Leah warned. If we get caught, it could tear us apart or trap us forever. Captain Voss weighed their options. We can't outrun it. We'll have to navigate through the eye. The crew prepared, tension thick in the air. The storm loomed, a swirling maelstrom of impossible geometry. Halcyon entered the vortex, systems buffeted by chaotic waves of energy. Time-fragmented seconds stretched into eons and then snapped back. The ship's new Arcanus-infused systems glowed, stabilizing the hull against the Tempest's assault. Malik steadied himself. Hold steady. Trust the ship. Through the storms. They glimpsed fleeting visions, potential futures, where humanity was crushed beneath the Vrellies, Shadow and others, where they rose triumphant. Sarah's voice was calm but resolute. We decide which future we fight for. Emerging from the storm, Halcyon was battered but intact. The crew had faced the seventh dimension's harshest trial and survived. But the price was clear. The ship and its crew were forever changed. The dimension had left its mark fractures in time, glimpses of lost selves, and an ever-present threat lurking in the shadows. Malik turned to Sarah. We've crossed the threshold. There's no going back. She met his gaze. Then we push. Forward, for humanity, for the wild card. Outside, the seventh dimension shifted and shimmered, endless and unknowable. The galaxy had mocked humanity, but the wild card had risen, and the game was only just beginning. Halcyon drifted silently in the seventh dimension's twilight, a strange liminal space where the boundaries between past, present, and future thinned and fractured like delicate glass. The ship's corridors hummed with an eerie quiet, interrupted only by the low murmur of machinery struggling to maintain temporal coherence. Captain Sarah Voss sat in the command chair, staring at the multi-dimensional displays flickering with incomprehensible data streams. Every moment here felt like a paradox, memories from the past flashing beside possible futures, as if reality itself was struggling to maintain a coherent narrative. Are we still ourselves? Malik asked, breaking the silence. Sarah didn't answer immediately. I don't know, but we're all that stands between humanity and oblivion in this place. Dr. Navin Rose stepped forward, a furrow of worry deepening on his brow. I've been studying the effects of the temporal fractures on our neural patterns. The longer we stay, the more our minds risk fragmentation, like echoes in an endless canyon. Leah Chen nodded. I've detected increased interference in the ship's systems, voices, signals, and memories, overlapping and bleeding into each other. Sarah's voice hardened. We must anchor ourselves to what is real, what is true. Suddenly, the ship's alert system blared a new anomaly detected in the nearby temporal field. Captain, we're receiving a transmission, Leia reported, her fingers trembling slightly as she decoded the message. It's in the ancient Arcanus dialect. The holographic projection flickered to life, revealing the spectral image of an Arcanus commander, worn and solemn. To those who traverse the seventh dimension, the figure intoned, "Beware the echoes. They are the fractured remnants of those who succumbed to this realm's cursed souls trapped between times, seeking to rewrite their fate." Sarah's heart skipped. Echoes. Malik's face darkened. They're more than ghosts, they're dangerous distortions of reality. If they interfere with our minds, we risk becoming them. The ship's corridors suddenly rippled with a cold, shimmering distortion. Alina Rourke's voice echoed down the cum. Captain, we're seeing anomalies, crew members experiencing déjà vu, reliving moments that never happened. Sarah swallowed hard. The echoes are here. We have to isolate affected personnel. Malik moved swiftly, coordinating containment. protocols while Navin monitored neural scans. In the mess hall, Laya sat alone, eyes glazed as fragmented memories played behind her gaze, visions of a life she never lived, a family lost in timelines she could barely comprehend. Suddenly, Malik appeared beside her. "Leah, focus on my voice," he said gently. "You're not alone." She blinked, the fog lifting for a moment. "It's like I'm living two lives at once." Malik nodded. "The echoes want to pull us apart, rewrite who we are. We have to fight." Meanwhile, Captain Voss reviewed tactical options. "The Vreli fleet will arrive soon," she said grimly. "They'll try to trap us here," Naveen interjected. "We might use the echoes against them. If we can control or communicate with these temporal distortions, we could turn the dimension itself into a weapon." Sarah considered the risk. "Or we could become the very thing we fear." Malik's voice was steady. "Sometimes, to win, you have to embrace the wild card." The crew worked tirelessly, devising a plan to channel the echo's chaotic energy, as Halcyon prepared for the inevitable confrontation. The ship itself seemed alive, pulsing with the strange rhythms of fractured time. Sarah looked out the observation window, the ghostly remnants of lost ships swirling around them like a storm. "We fight not just for survival," she said softly, "but to define who we are." Suddenly, the view outside shattered, fracturing into multiple overlapping realities. The Vreli fleet appeared, vast and menacing, their ships phasing in and out like nightmares. "Brace for attack," Laya warned. The battle was unlike any other ships, weaving through time folds, weapons firing across shifting realities, and Halcyon's crew fighting against not only the enemy, but the very fabric of existence. Malik's voice came over the com. "Now, Captain, channel the echoes." Sarah activated the experimental interface. The ship shuddered as chaotic waves of temporal energy surged outward, enveloping the Vreli fleet. For a moment, time itself seemed to break apart. Then, silence. When reality reassembled, the Vreli ships were scattered, lost in endless temporal loops, trapped as echoes themselves. Halcyon floated victorious, but changed. Its crew marked by the dimension's touch. Sarah exhaled. "We did it, but the cost." Malik smiled faintly. Humanity's wild card, unpredictable, unstoppable, and alive in every moment. The seventh dimension remained a mystery, but Halcyon's crew had proven one thing: no matter the odds, humanity would risen seen unheard, but never defeated. The aftermath of the battle echoed through the silent corridors of Halcyon. The Vreli fleet, once an overwhelming nightmare, had been shattered, dispersed into countless temporal loops, trapped as echoes of their former might. Yet, victory was bittersweet. The ship and its crew bore the indelible marks of the seventh dimension's relentless chaos. Captain Sarah Voss stood in the observation deck, gazing out at the swirling cosmic vista. Time rippled and folded, a kaleidoscope of infinite possibilities stretching beyond sight. The dimension had tested humanity's spirit, and humanity had endured. Behind her, Malik Akoi entered quietly. "You did well," he said, voice low but steady. Sarah smiled faintly. "We all did, but this isn't the end. The seventh dimension, it's alive. It's waiting for us to learn its secrets." Malik nodded. "The Arcanus left us a roadmap, a chance to master this place rather than merely survive." Laya, Chen, and Navin Ro worked tirelessly, repairing the ship's systems and integrating Arcanus technology deeper into Halcyon's core. The ship hummed with renewed energy, a symphony of human ingenuity and alien wisdom. Leah glanced up from the console. We've stabilized the dimensional drive to unprecedented levels. If we push forward, we might map entire swaths of the seventh dimension. Naveen added, and with the echoes controlled, we can explore without fear of losing ourselves. Sarah's eyes gleamed with purpose. Then we keep moving. We chart the unknown. Meanwhile, deep within the Galactic Concord, news of the battle rippled through political chambers and starship command centers. The Vreli delegation seethed with fury and disbelief. How could the humans survive the seventh dimension? One envoy demanded. They are amateurs playing with forces beyond their reach. But whispers of a new power grew louder and unpredictable. Force that had turned the tide. The wild card, a rival faction murmured. The humans are the wild card. Back aboard Halcyon, the crew gathered in the mess hall for a rare moment of rest. Faces bore the fatigue of battle and the strain of fractured realities, but also the spark of triumph. Alina Rourke raised a glass. To humanity mocked, underestimated, but unbreakable. The crew echoed the toast, a chorus of voices united by hardship and hope. Malik stood, looking around at the faces that had become more than comrades. They were family. We were mocked. As weak, ignorant, and primitive, he said. But we've proven that the human spirit cannot be measured by old standards. We are more than survivors, we are pioneers. We are the wild card in a universe that never expected us to rise. As Halcyon set course deeper into the seventh dimension, strange new phenomena greeted them, hidden gateways, whispers of civilizations yet unknown, and the promise of discoveries that could change the fabric of reality itself. Sarah looked at the stars and beyond, a quiet determination settling over her. No one will see us coming, she whispered, but when we rise, it will be from places no one even knew existed. The galaxy would remember the humans for many reasons. Their resilience, their cunning, and above all, their refusal to be erased. They had been mocked, they had been dismissed, but the wild card had risen unseen, unstoppable, and ready to redefine the cosmos. The end.